talking about today and tomorrow. How have we been able to help ourselves move forward in area of governance? What has in different sectors, what has impacted us? What is it that we have done right? What is it that we need to learn from? And what is it that we need to do better? I know that the major hallmarks of good governance is transparency, accountability, adherence to the rule of law, and also responsiveness to the needs and demands of the citizenry. Good governance, when properly nuanced, is highly participatory, and as a fallout of that, good governance is also equitable and inclusive. That is why good governance is effective and efficient. We will be talking about that today, looking at Nigeria right now. What is it that we have done? Remembering that a few days ago, earlier in the week, Nigeria was scored 35 out of 54 African countries that were measured in governance, and we came meager 35. I spoke to a couple of people, and they said, well, that probably they just pitied us. They didn't measure us well, because if we look at the areas of human rights, the areas of accountability, the areas of transparency and participatory civic participation, then Nigeria has failed woefully, and that's why we brought up the conversation. Like I said, I will be having in the house Mr. Emmanuel Njoko, a public affairs analyst, to talk about these issues, for us to rally around and understand what is it that Nigeria has done right, if at all we've done something right, because I believe that somehow we cannot just rule Nigeria all wrong, and probably we've done something wrong. How do we retrace our steps? How do we take better steps to make things work? I remember having a conversation with a very good friend of mine, and he was talking about how we have done a lot of talking about, a lot of forums, a lot of seminars, a lot of conferences. We've done a lot of sector group meetings, in and outside Nigeria, just to find out ways how to help, how to move forward. A lot of conversations have come up, but what have we actually done? What have we actually done? What have we actually put in place? What are the systems, the institutions that we have created and supervised and pushed through to make sure that these things that we actually want to work, that they have worked? What have we done as individuals, as citizens, as government officials, as agencies, as the elected officials, as the executive, as the legislature, as the judiciary? What parts have we played to bring this to happen? Accountability, which is one of the cornerstones of good governance, is the degree to which government has to explain or justify what it has done or failed to do, how it has spent money or how it has not spent money. Accountability ensures that actions and decisions taken by leaders and public officials or persons in authority are open to oversight, so as to guarantee that government initiatives meet their outlined aims and objectives and also respond to the needs of the society. As a country, can we say that we have been accountable? Can we say that the government has been accountable to its people? For example, using this current government, can we say that this current government has been accountable to his people? Does it look like they will be accountable? And in the event that they also come back for us to vote for them again, will we vote for this same government? This is the conversation that we're going to be having. Take a short break. When we come back, we'll introduce our guest, and then we get talking.
Human Rights Radio.
As a business owner, you may be asking yourself for reasons why you should advertise with Human Rights Radio. Well, I will give you 5. 1. We operate a 24-hour Facebook TV that accommodates all our shows, and with 50,000 views per show. 2. All around the world, millions of people tune into our station live on our Human Rights Radio app, available on Android and iOS. 3. We are employing over 2,000 conversers ready to attend to all your advertising needs. 4. With our very affordable rates, you are guaranteed the best value for your money. 5. We go beyond radio and can be found on all other social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Periscope, proving that while other stations enjoy listenership, we enjoy followership. The question shouldn't be reasons why you should advertise with Human Rights Radio. The real question is reasons why you haven't. Welcome to Nigeria's first magazine radio, Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
On FM. Like I said, today is going to be quite interesting one, talking about governance in Nigeria yesterday, today, and tomorrow, what is happening. We've spoken about how the major hallmarks of good governance are accountability, transparency, adherence to the rule of law, and responsiveness to the needs and demands of the country. And like I said, we're going to have Mr. Emmanuel Njaku, who is the project manager in democracy and governance for Connected Development. You're very welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a pleasure being here.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good.
He's also a public affairs analyst. He's somebody that I trust his opinions on because he is very unbiased. You're welcome.
Yeah,
okay, so talking about governance in Nigeria, how far we have come. Like I said, the major hallmarks of governance is when the country is able to point towards being transparent, being the leadership being accountable, and also adhering to the rule of law. What would be your first opinion if you were an outsider visiting Nigeria?
Well, I mean, the typical reason out there would be like, we're nowhere yet. But I will tell you, given if we were to look at where we are now, and the laws we have on ground that is supposed to take us to where we want to be, yeah, we're making progress. Yeah, are you disappointed to hear that?
I'm not disappointed. I'm just, I'm just wondering, when we say more, in areas of accountability, critics will say that this government has not shown us any hand that they even want or plan to be accountable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what people, like I said, long term. I know that sometime in 2002, there was this popular activist then that in Kaduna State that he demanded that he wanted to see the budget of the state. Mm-hmm. And they told him to sit down and wait. And in less than 30 minutes, he was arrested for demanding for the budget of the state. Mm. But I mean, fast forward to now, those things are no longer happening. Mm. We're not making the kind of, we don't have the kind of speed we want to have. But we're making progress.
You know, my
Yes.
conversation, you know, I've always known you to be someone that is very outspoken in this conversation. It's
Exactly.
looking like, you know, you have had conversations
No,
behind one corner.
No,
I know,
but
because
that's why
talking
I
about the
said
Follow the Money project, I remember that you have spearheaded projects where the government has been, you know, fired, asked
Yeah.
questions on certain monies that have spent. But you seem to be taking a very low hit right now. What's going on?
Yeah, now, talking about Follow the Money, our strength on Follow the Money is the FOI Act, the Freedom of Information Act. So
yes.
these are, you know, I talked about the laws that are on ground already. They're supposed to help us to get to where we want to be. So the laws are there already that are supposed to help us, and they are really helping us. Because of Follow the Money project, I wonder how far we could have even gone without Freedom of Information Act. So now you see, you write some places and they give you the information you need. You write some places, they keep delaying you, they don't even respond. You remind them, they won't respond because they expect you to, okay, go to court. And probably they're claiming that we don't have all the money to take all the government officers we are writing to court. But then some of them are responding. Now, you know, talking about where we are, there's something I always want to bring in this kind of discussions. We can't exactly have the kind of transparent government we want without talking about the basics. Now, what are the basics? For a democracy, the basics of a genuine, sustainable democracy lies on the quality of election the country gives, or the quality of election we have as a country. So as an organization now, we just came back from Anambra State, where they had an election, where the sitting governor won the election. Now, when if I'm to have this discussion based on the kind of election we saw in Anambra, which, by the way, was way lower than what INEC should give, you see that the problem is not necessarily the government. Because if you look at how the citizens act during elections, you may just conclude that they probably get the kind of leadership they want. Because this is an Anambra where I was, when all the 21 local governments, and I can tell you that virtually every citizen in the rural community that voted demanded for money to vote. The least I know that was paid for every vote was 2,000 naira by the party that won the election. 2,000 naira. So if the citizens themselves are demanding for money to do the needful, what do you expect from the government in power? So
well, I will cut you short by saying that, you see, I think that, you know, it still behoves on the fact that the government has put the citizens in that very awkward position. Because you know that at the end of the day, you know, people have come to think that, you see, my vote really doesn't count. They're still going to do what they're going to do. So, well, I might make just a
2,000
let me just make that 2,000 naira anyway, because you see, this vote will happen whether I come out or not.
So when the citizens demand this kind of money, now from information we got, the eve of the election, we understood that the party that won the election, they spent as much as 9 million naira for every ward, and in the state they have 323 wards in the state. So if every person that won if the parties paid as much as 9 million naira for every ward, this is about 2.6 billion naira the eve of the election. Not all the money they've been spending on the citizens, not all the rights, not all they've been sharing. So you can't exactly have credible people get into these processes when the citizens are demanding money. I mean, this is citizens demanding. If you don't give them, they're not voting. So now you collect from this person, you collect from this person, you collect from them. It's about who offers the most. So how do you really expect someone who's... I mean, I would love to be a governor someday, but how do I pull such resources? If someone is spending 2.6 billion the eve of the election, and they've been doing campaigns for over 6 months, then how do you now... Probably you'll spend 20 billion. I mean, this is citizens' money they're equally spending. But then how do you even expect transparent and accountable government from these people? That's the big issue. But you see, that's the bigger issue.
But you see, the conversation here, Mr. Manuel, is that, see, you might be drawn to say that the people deserve the kind of, you know, government they have or the kind of leaders they have
because of how they participate in the elections.
No, but you see, if the citizens see that this young man wants to be a governor, he doesn't have this amount of money, he hasn't come to us before and promised us all that and not delivered, I'm sure that the people will be able to take a bet on him. I'm very sure, because you see that they have the sitting governor came, campaigned, you know, and promised them stuff which he didn't deliver. So they have seen that, you see, no matter what we do, this system seem to work against us. So either way, let's just you know, make money as long as this is going to work. Because you see, if you say you will not vote, it seems like, you know, who will win will also win.
You know, talking about transparency and accountability, if the citizens don't demand transparency and accountability from the people that are supposed to serve them, these political actors, you won't get it. So the citizens beyond city centers, Abuja.
Yeah.
You know, when we talk about these things, most times we focus on city centers, just to focus on Abuja. I mean, trying to represent Nigeria, but it doesn't. I mean, I traveled down to the east by road. I had to go by road. I used a particular public transport, and I realized that really is a different city. I
Terrain,
mean,
it's a different
being in
scenario.
Abuja and staying in Abuja makes you kind of forget the reality of Nigeria out there. So sometimes when we have these discussions, we just talk about it in city centers because of our level of awareness and exposure here in Abuja. But back in these places, the citizens are they even, do they even demand, what are they even expecting transparency and accountability? And if you don't expect it, if you don't demand it, they won't get it from these people. So I think the work is even more on us because there are laws already. So when I talked about my introduction, I said the laws are already there. They're supposed to take us to where we're supposed to be, where we wish or desire to be. Now, the citizens on their own have to drive this. These guys are not going to give it to you because they keep stealing your money. They keep stealing all the money. They keep stealing monies that are meant for healthcare facilities, for education. They're not going to get it. So citizens will have to rise up to demand it. If you don't demand it, you don't get it.
Okay, good. Talking about demanding transparency, I see that there was an outcry, for this government to be very holistic in their anti-corruption war. And till now, we haven't gotten any form of conviction. We're just looking for what is going on. The citizens have demanded, you came on the platform of anti-corruption. You said we're going to fight, we're going to chase this. What's going on? I remember that when the government did come in, they preached about how they wanted to reduce the presidential fleet. They were not going to buy this, they were not going to buy that. Well, that's not looking like that anymore. It seems like, things have changed. The wind has blown to different corners. People have started to see that, power is actually very good, So, I mean, you can't just blame the citizens all through. The leaders that we have voted in, I think that they should know better.
Yeah, you can't just blame the citizens all through. Blame government. Yeah, this government in power right now, the federal level, they made all of those promises. And sincerely, I mean, there's been campaigns to open NAS. Yeah, open NAS. We've led campaigns on open NAS. I mean, we want to know, what line by line in terms of what the budget for National Assembly is and how much is will get paid. I mean, these are some of the things we expect around transparency and open governance. Yeah, the Senate President as they will always promise, has promised a couple of times, yeah, we'll make it up. But 4 years has gone, and I mean, really, like I said, we're not making we're going at a snail pace rate. Yeah, we're not making that kind of the expected speed that I think we will need. We're moving at a snail pace rate. But then I put it to you and I say it here really. That speed will get better if we all participate in the process. I mean, we'll go to communities, follow the money project. There are communities where, we'll try to, how we follow some money, follow the money. What follow the money does is try to see, follow some government spending and international donor funds that come to Nigeria that are meant to do some capital projects around health, education and environment. And environment is around water sanitation. So I mean, so what we do through the budget, through tenders, we could see something that is supposed to go for one faraway community, and so we'll go to the community and we'll try to get in the buy-in of the local leaders of the community. Tell them, hey, there's this 90 billion naira that has been approved for ABC for your community, but there's nothing here. Are you guys aware of it? In some cases, you go to these people and you tell them, you won't even get their buy-in to help them follow their money, the money that is meant for them. I mean, so now the problem is the fundamental things that are supposed to drive these things are not there. The education that is needed for people to be aware is not even there. The kind of education we're getting is not something that is going to help us demand for that transparency and accountability.
Who is supposed to do this enlightenment?
Now, I mean, education is government that's supposed to do this through education. Yeah,
so I'm thinking people like the National Orientation Agency is supposed to be part. No, because why do you have agencies and institutions if they don't work? Then we scrap them.
Actually, the National Orientation Agency, they are our partners right now. Because we're doing a program in all the communities across the country around, engaging people that have never voted before. So I mean, they are trying, but.
Are they supposed to choose? You see, that's what I'm saying, Mr. Manuel. It looks to me that like you've had other conversation.
Nope.
Because I knew that you used to be very dogged about these things. They're engaging in an election conversation. What happened to just educating the people on their rights? The things that they need to know.
How much can they educate the people when the education itself, the structure through schools that is supposed to educate the people, is very shabby and is a mess? I mean, you don't put that on national orientation. I'm not speaking for government. I'm speaking as a citizen who is informed. We are not impressed. around what we do. As on Follow the Money Project, we are not anti-government, we are not pro-government. You understand? It's about getting the communities to, to assess that which is theirs originally. I mean, their transparency is low. We all agree. It's pretty low right now in Nigeria. But I'm talking about, we'll just talk about this action without talking about the issues that are leading to it. Because if you keep talking about this without addressing the underlying factors that should take care of this, we'll talk about this forever.
You mentioned underlying factors. What are those underlying factors?
The education is, I mean, if the people are not educated and giving them crappy education, they won't even know what to expect from government. I mean, people worship, to think of it, people even worship their political leaders. I mean, these are people that you voted in to serve you and you're worshiping them. These are people that are stealing your money. These are people that are not giving you healthcare facilities, and they're driving with their convoy of 20 cars, and you see people all over the place hailing them, worshiping them, because they don't even know what to expect. They don't even know what to get from these people. They don't even know what to, they don't even understand that these people are there to serve them.
That's why civil society organizations like Connected Development are supposed to come together with even faith-based organizations to do a lot of enlightenment. It's not just about saying, oh, let's go and make sure that they get the infrastructure. If we can do a holistic enlightenment of saying, this is what is due to you. My father will always say to me,
do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know what I'm talking about? The bigger challenges like the education. The civil society can do the enlightenment, sensitization, awareness as much as they can. But it can never be like the school structure, which is supposed to give quality education for people to even know what government is meant to be doing. And I tell you that if you don't demand this, you won't get it. Where we are today, I mean, INEC are getting better, actually, because the election INEC did in Anambra State was, I don't want to use this word, I mean, it's a mess. It was a mess. All the processes were bad. I mean, lower than the INEC you would expect. So, well, I mean, they got to where they are because citizens keep talking, citizens keep engaging. People are demanding better electoral processes. So people sitting in the communities, they see political leaders, they expect to get something from them because they are all comfortable and they've accepted that, oh, they are rich and they just want us, you just have to give us something. How does someone give you something and then expect transparency? I mean, are you not bothered when he's getting all the money he's giving you for him to win an election from? That should bother you.
Okay, great.
So how do you expect him to be transparent and accountable to you? The laws are there, actually. But we need to start testing our laws. We need to demand making of the laws. And that's how these things can work.
Okay, I remember the issue of the Paris fund that was shared
out. Yeah, we're following that.
No, but you see how the government comes up and says something like, it's confidential.
It's confidential.
How do you say that to the people who you're supposed to be accountable to?
To be sincere, we're very disappointed when the Attorney General that said that. I mean,
how do you?
Because before now we've been on the government, especially Delta State, their Paris Club refund. We've been on them because I mean from our grassroots reports and going on ground to check, we realize that there are some states where you go to, and projects they've done some 4 or 5 years ago. Now, because there is Paris Club refund, they bring it and put it in the report as things they are doing with the money. Meanwhile, these are projects that have been done. So we've been writing FOI letters demanding to get details of what these monies were used for. So I would demand that you put things where they're supposed to be if you've not done that. And then the government from the federal level comes to tell us. I mean, well, but then, like I said, the laws are there. I know SERAP is challenging that. They're in court already on this matter. So we're hoping that, this is why I said the laws are, because government in itself, they don't even respect us. Really, they don't.
They probably
respect few Abuja citizens that are living in Abuja. Trust me, when you go to this, see, we are bush people, we are community people. We go to communities. I mean, Abuja is just fancy office. I mean, see how fancy this office is. I mean, this looks like you're not even in Nigeria. The people in the communities is a different ball game down there. The government don't respect those people, so they keep doing what they are doing. So if the people don't even know what to expect from government, I mean, the level of awareness, the level of literacy, it's so low. It's so low. So I mean, that's the bigger problem. So
it is time to open the phone lines, and so you can be part of this conversation. I know that you have been itching to call in and give your own contributions on governance. What is your mark? What do you mark this government on? Governance, accountability, transparency, and responsiveness to the needs and demands of the citizenry. Remember, this is Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. You can also send your contributions to our Facebook page, Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Like and follow us. Also, you can send tweets to us on H Right Radio on Twitter at H Right Radio. This is Media Lab. We'll be right back. To stay tuned.
Human Rights Radio.
It all starts with let's make it happen, or following the doctor's orders. Health is Life, Mondays to Fridays, from 2 to 3 p.m. only on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. Bringing together Nigeria's producers, consumers, and the regulatory bodies, discussing their challenges and common goals. The question of who gets value from the service provider to the final consumer remains unanswered. But we've got the answer. What are the rights and limitations of you, the consumer? What are the rights and limitations of you, the consumer, the producer, and even the regulator in today's Nigeria? Don't miss Consumer Forum on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM.
As the fourth estate of the realm, the media stands as the watchman of the nation. On Media Lab, we dissect the news items of the day through the men and women that bring the news to you to give you the full story. Media Lab, airing exclusively on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
One of the most important tools for accountability is the Constitution. For example, our current Constitution, the 1999 Constitution, made provision for the separation of powers as a mechanism for checks and balances. You're welcome to Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. If you're just tuning in, this is Media Lab, and my name is Tracy. And we have been talking about governance in Nigeria, looking at yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And with me in the house is Mr. Emmanuel Njoko, who is project manager in democracy and governance for Connected Development. You're welcome, sir, again. So, like I said about the Constitution has given a prominence for separation of powers where, the executive, the judiciary all have sovereign powers to do what they got to do. Now, it seems that for every time the National Assembly comes up, to say something or to summon the executive, there's always voices rising, like as if they don't have power to do what they're doing. I remember when they spoke to the IG to return the aid of the governor. It really didn't happen until the president, came and said, what, IG, go and do that. Yes, for a number. So it seems, I was talking about, and I said that it seems for me that the legislature is more of a barking dog than a biting dog. So if we are not able to have sanctions that can be followed, how is it that we can actually, these laws, these institutions that you spoke about in the beginning that are there to help us, how can they help us?
Yeah, first of all, the kind of leaders we have and the way they come into power, I always emphasize on that. Their personality creates a lot of room for the rascality, we'll see, from the powers, from executive, the laws are there. But when someone says, okay, I'm not going to do this and I'm not doing it, even though he knows that from the point of executive knows that it's wrong, he knows that the worst you can do is go to court. You understand? That in itself is frustrating. Because the judiciary in itself could probably keep that case dragging on till the 4 years tenure will get done. So
I know that sigh of exasperation.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not impressed. Don't ever think I'm impressed with what is going on. Yeah.
If you ask me, I'm torn. The Emmanuel that I know of before, it seems that you are.
I get hot. Because I look at the situation as the situation is really bad. Really, really bad. Really, really bad. When you have to go to, you don't understand. I've been humbled by things I've seen in the community.
Trip that you took.
No, not just this.
Yes.
We go to faraway community. The things I see, the hunger that I see, the poverty that I see, the reality that I see. Living in Abuja, you would never understand how bad these things are, and it boils down to the kind of bad governance we get. But the bigger problem is how they get in. You can't have a criminal and expect him to. You can't have a criminal as the leader of a group and expect him to do positive things.
Okay, the number to call is 081 89 99 1011. I'll take the number again, 081 89 99 1011. What's your scorecard for governance in Nigeria? Please remember the rules when you are calling. Remember to be polite and brief. And also, secondly, when you're calling, reduce the volume of your radio set. And if someone is listening right next to you, walk away from the radio set. Remember these words. Be polite. There's no need for us to fight. It's also, there's no need for us to attack each other. We are looking for solutions. We're not looking to cause problems or confrontations. We do hope that the network will be very fair to us. Now, critics will also say that it seems like this governor, or rather the government in power right now, has set up room for more impunity. Because I remember they came in and they were saying, oh, God, we're going to stamp out impunity, the fear of God, we're going to put the fear of God in public officials. Well, they said so much of it, but it looks right now like the governors, are the lords of the government.
Sincerely, nothing has changed. Absolutely nothing has changed. Probably political actors, because of their interest, will want to make it look like everything has changed. Nothing has changed.
Remember to reduce the volume of your radio set when you are calling. Please reduce the volume of your radio set. I'm hearing you.
Nothing has changed from where we were last administration around transparency and accountability. Nothing has changed. I tell you. They just presented another budget of. Big budget that the president just presented, but last year's budget. This is a country. I don't even believe this country runs on any budget. The budget is just a show. It's just a drama. with all they try to put the transparency thing around it. But you put up a budget and you can't even achieve 20% of the budget, and then you're bringing another budget and we're all jumping up and clapping. Nothing has changed. There's no transparency whatsoever in this government, I tell you. There's no transparency. I mean, it's just a show of, it's just a show. They're just doing a lot of show around. I mean, they are trying to get better, because I know when this government came in, they were doing so much show on newspapers. Every day you pick up a newspaper, you see this person has been arrested. You'll be hearing big money on the newspapers.
Thank you.
I mean, Nigerians will forget a lot, but all those big show and all those big noise, nobody has been convicted yet. And sadly, election is just a year, 2 months from now. We're going to another federal election. So I tell you, in the next 3 months from 2018, governance will even come to a halt, because all the focus will come back to election in February 19th. So February 19th is the election, is presidential election for this country. So I mean, from PDP is doing their convention. Once they do that convention on December 9th, now everything becomes a mad street again in the country.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
My name is from Locka.
Okay, talk to me, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
We are here in the, and we thank the radio house, Onlive radio house, to give us radio authority to say many of us wanted to put in to speak out, but there is no way to speak out. The great radio that we can be able to speak out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, we have no thought on our government today. Many of us that we are voting, we put the thought on the government, and now everybody has not thought of it, because everything is down. Everything is down. We don't know the government can do everything, everybody can perform anything. And we are still on the same thing that we run from, now we see that we go inside the lagoon. Because if you look what is going on in the country now, it's terrible.
Wow.
It's terrible. Many of us that we are working, no way to look for work, anywhere, no way to get job, no way you can go to.
Wow.
And everything was so frustrating.
All right. Thank you so much for that contribution, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
He used the phrase, it's like we have fallen into a lagoon. I feel like that bodes very badly for the country. I remember how yesterday I was talking about experts saying that we haven't really left a recession, that it's just numbers. As long as the ordinary man on the street has not necessarily felt it doesn't necessarily mean that we have gotten out of recession. And I believe that the reason why I believe that is, recession is when activities, business activities, and industrial activities have fallen to a low. So when I'm not able to go to the market, get what I'm supposed to get, when I'm not able to have money inflow and outflow as it's supposed to happen, I mean, I'm still in a recession, and the country and a government that has successfully kept us in recession, and it says it's making plans for us to come up, but it doesn't look like that.
Yeah, but they tell you on TVs, and it's just a show government with nothing tangible to show for it. I mean, they tell you we're in recession. They tell you we're out of recession. They tell you that in fact we've started even exporting food, yam, vegetables, and when we don't even have enough for ourselves to eat here, when it's so costly to buy yam in the market. This government is a joke. They're really a joke, and.
Okay.
But it's not enough for people to just talk. People should get beyond just talking. People need to start acting. People need to start acting, responding to government, not just talking. And the voices that are speaking are very few. Very few of us. Really, I tell you, very few of us. If you look at the population of the country, very few of us.
Do you think that we need to actually go out to the villages, to the areas, and actually solicit for? Maybe we should just do like a 1-year campaign.
Sadly, if the education was right, you don't need to. Because education empowers you to know what to think.
You keep saying this education, but we have come to this point where we have we are at this point now where we are at crossroads. So the little enlightenment we can do, we need to go ahead and do it. For example, like I said to someone, the moment we're able to recall someone that we voted, everybody will sit up. So the only way we can do that is that all the shout, like I said before you came in, there have been a lot of, conferences, seminars, on what to do, how to do, what to do. We've talked a lot on social media, but you see, how is it that we have talked about these things? We now know the theoretical aspect of it.
And these discussions you're talking about, these discussions, who are they talking with? Are they talking with FBOs? Are they talking with CBOs? Are they just talking with civil societies and people that are in Abuja? So what would the impact be? The impact won't be there. People in Abuja, they don't live in these communities. At least I live in Abuja. I have light at least close to 18 hours every day. So am I really that angry?
But you see, I remember a community I went to one time.
But the communities have not light for the past 3 years, 4 years.
Shere community.
Oh, you've been to Shere?
Thank you.
Yeah, great.
They don't even know what this thing looks like. No, I didn't go with Connected.
Okay,
I think I actually told him about it.
Okay, great. Yeah.
They don't know what this thing looks like. You're talking about 18 hours. Most of the people, they haven't
They're
seen.
comfortable with.
There's an electric pole, but they don't know how the wire is connected. And it is shocking.
And to think that Shere is in FCT.
That's what I'm saying. So you see, you're talking about the communities that are out of the. What of even the communities that are in the FCT?
Yeah. You know how bad Shere is. I don't know. How did he even manage to get to Shere? Did he walk?
Well, we managed. We went. We stopped somewhere.
We used a horse or camel or something.
No, we stopped somewhere. We used bike. They allowed us when. Well, it was a horror.
And this is in FCT. So
was horror. Network is just not helping us right now. Remember to call 08189991011. A very short break. We'll be right back. Do stay tuned.
As a business owner, you may be asking yourself for reasons why you should advertise with Human Rights Radio. Well, the question shouldn't be reasons why you should advertise with Human Rights Radio. The real question is reasons why you haven't. Welcome to Nigeria's first magazine radio, Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Your right, my right, our right, everybody's right is protected. Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
Welcome, my dear,
This
dear
is
friend.
Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
As the fourth estate of the realm, the media stands as the watchman of the nation. On Media Lab, we dissect the news items of the day through the men and women that bring the news to you to give you the full story. Media Lab, airing exclusively on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM, redefining broadcasting.
Human Rights Radio.
My country people, I throw salute come reach una for this beautiful day wey Baba God dey allow all of us see. This na talk am for your language. Our Oyinbo people talk say unity in diversity focuses on the existence of unity even after lots of differences of culture, religious and social beliefs. No be small thing o. Nigeria na country wey God don bless with different boku languages, and then talk say we get over 520 languages where we dey speak for this our Nigeria. My people, which one you follow join body? You sabi speak your language, abi English don sama your brain? Oya, make una follow call, make you tell us where you dey from and the language where you dey speak. Make una speak that language, no use English mix am o. If you do am, na oyo be your case. Talk am for your language. Na the ogbonge program wey go showcase the plenty languages wey full ground for Naija with ordinary presidents on Human Rights Radio 101.1. Make sure say you follow body.
Human Rights Radio.
This is your magazine radio station. Listen.
It's only today that my daughter gets just to eat food.
Past
2 months now. You be your shop selling before you know your child will disappear.
Listen.
My own. That is what is killing us. They demolish everything. They burn all our things. Even my credential, even my children own. Up to the extent, no clothes, nothing.
Government cannot give us everything we want. And as a youth, the little you have, you can use this to establish yourself.
Given a voice to the voiceless. 101.1 FM. Listen. Have you ever wondered why methods to therapy change? Ever wondered why innovation in medicine didn't change the world? Well, that's simply because everything about your health lies within your hands. It all starts with let's make it happen, or following the doctor's orders. Health is Life, Mondays to Fridays, from 2 to 3 p.m. only on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM.
Okay, welcome back. From payment of salaries to providing infrastructure, that is the sole responsibility of the government. And so we're talking about governance. How has the government been able to respond to the needs of the society? Remember that you can call 08189. No, you can call. The time has actually, we have rounded up. I have been in the studio with Mr. Emmanuel Njako, talking seriously about governance. He is the project manager in democracy and governance for Connected Development. Thank you so much for coming together. And so, but what are your last words? What would be, if you were to want to run for governor now, what is it that you would like to say?
Well, it's not for governor. For me, it's about the people. And my last word would be this. We are happy that we have democracy. And the onus is on us citizens to keep and sustain this democracy. And there is hope in democracy because democracy keeps evolving. It keeps getting better. And no matter how corrupt a leader is, he will stay 4 years. There's another election. If he wins, he stays 8 years, he leaves. So it gives us hope that we can keep changing. It's not like what's happening in Zimbabwe and Togo and all those places. So let's keep the hope alive. But most important, let's start participating beyond just the comfort of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Let's start participating. Young people should participate more and demand accountability from your leaders. If you don't do it, they don't really care that much. We'll keep talking. And nothing changes.
Young people need to participate more and demand accountability, transparency, and proper governance from their leaders. And that's also one of my last words for you. We need to come to a point where we are demanding. Like I say, if you don't demand for it, nobody will give it to you. No. Nothing ever comes on a platter of gold. Well, except gold. It has been a wonderful time right here on Media Lab. Till we'll come your way again tomorrow for Media Lab. I'm sure tomorrow is going to be also another exciting and interesting one. But coming up next is Health is Live. And today, I told you we're going to be having a doctor in the house. So get your questions ready. I'm going to pray for this network, making sure that, we can call and, make all our complaints. Keep listening. Don't go anywhere. Do stay tuned.